Welcome to the Y Podcast with Cynthia,
Day,
MJ,
and Aretha.
We are all students in the 3rd Early Childhood Education Afrocentric cohort. Today we're going to discuss our journey over the last year and a half. So guys, why did you take this course?
Go.
I joined this course because I hadn't been in school for a while and I felt like it was something that I really wanted to do, like I needed to go back, and I had always enjoyed working with children and I had had tons of experience with it, but I had not the best luck in other institutions where I was trying to get the same education, and I had a sister who had just finished the Afrocentric program, and she had nothing but good things to say about it. She's now on to furthering her education, and I was very inspired by her, so I thought that I should do the same, and it's worked out so far.
Yeah, that's kind of like me too. I started working in daycares when I was 12 years old, cleaning the toys, and then when I turned 16, I got into the classroom. When I graduated high school, I went to the Mount to start my early childhood education journey there, but I didn't really like it. Coming from a small French school and going to the big university, I just didn't feel like it was for me. And then my two friends, Alexis and Dana, had taken this course, and I was 3 months postpartum, so I couldn't join them in it. And then when we heard that it was going to happen again, I was like, oh, well, why not? But I was in kind of a weird space, like, can I take this course? Like, I'm Black, but I'm not from Nova Scotia, and I didn't really, like, I don't know the East Prestons and Cherrybrook and all these communities. Like, I'm not from here. I'm from Montreal. Like, I didn't know if this class was for me, so I went, and Alexis and Dana were like, no, Cynthia, like, take this course. They brought me in to meet Justin, and I was like, okay, no, I think, like, this is for me, and I'm really glad I did, because now I'm able to get my education done in a class that everybody looks like me, which has never happened in my life, and that just feels really important.
Yeah. I took this program because I love working with kids. I've been around kids my whole entire life, and I just wanted to be able to advocate for kids that look like me, because that is something that I had never seen my whole entire life growing up. Always been the only Black kid.
Yep.
So I want to be, if not the only Black educator, one of many, so that I can be there for all the children.
So kind of like MJ's answer, where she said her sister took the course and it inspired her. My daughter took the course before I did, and I was at their little ceremony, and I felt that it was touching, and at that time, I don't know why, but it was good for my mental health. So I was like, that's definitely what I need and definitely what I'm going to do. So she talked me into it, and I was on it, and here we are.
And didn't your sister take the course too?
Oh yeah, your sister.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Africa took it, Dantea took it, Lariah took it, and now I'm taking it.
And you have a daughter starting the program too.
And Charm's
A family
gonna be
affair.
starting in
Yeah.
2027. That's what it's about.
What has been the most challenging thing you have experienced while being in school?
The most challenging thing for me really is not really necessarily having anything to do with school and like the classwork. It's more trying to like balance being in school full time and not having a job at the same time, not being able to work, because now we're living off of one salary. Like, I'm lucky enough to have a husband who can afford our bills, but that's literally all we can afford. And so it's been really like stressful being like, okay, I'm in school full time and I have a child and we have daycare to pay, bills to pay. How is that going to look? And kind of just like trying to balance that, and also trying not to burn myself out by trying to get in the extra hours at work or whatever it may be so that I can do it, especially with my health. So that's been the most challenging for me.
I would say for me, it's kind of the same but different, because it's just myself that I take care of. Like, my student loan has been enough, but then there's also a little bit of a guilt and a fear that once I'm done school that I will start to having to support myself, and that is actually kind of overwhelming and a little bit scary. So I feel like, and I know that some people have been working and maintaining work while in school. And it's something I did in high school, but it's a lot easier to do in high school than it is to do in post-secondary, especially when you're a full-time.
Yeah.
Well, and back on the loans, like, these loans don't be coming in at the right time.
Don't even get me started.
We know your story.
Get me started.
The loans, sure, they're great.
They're not really reliable.
I'm thankful I can get student loans.
Hello.
Sorry for that little interruption. My husband came home. But yeah, the loans, like, we don't necessarily get them in on time, or because of how our program is not on schedule with everybody else's, like, starting in September, all of a sudden they're taking our money and saying we can't have it until 2 months until later. And so...
And also, depending on your personal and financial status, how much you get of student loans is not consistent. And then you have to ration that out, and then you're kind of being very scarce with your money. And
well, I guess to touch on awards too, because awards, depending on your financial status, they can decline.
Yeah, I get declined for all the awards because of
Ian's
salary.
Right.
So if it's not your student awards or your bursaries or this and that, you're really not, they're not helping you as much as you think they're supposed to be.
Yeah, so I just find that it's been actually making it more challenging to focus on the school aspect, because I'm always worried about where's my money coming from or what's going to happen when it's running out. It's like I said, it's been manageable, and I am very grateful that the course ended up being funded, and it has been a very much like not do it your own pace, but there's been a lot of flexibility in the course, which I'm grateful for. But the inability to make money and work has been challenging for sure.
So I think my most challenging thing I've experienced while being in school is I have been fortunate enough to have 2 jobs and work, but it puts you in a position where you're doing assignments, you're doing school, you're doing placements, and then I'm working. So I am busy 7 days a week. I have no time for a life. There's no time for anything. So I've been at my breaking point many times where I've decided, should I stay in school? Should I not stay in school? So I would say money has probably been the hardest part for all of us. While being in school, and we are close to the end, but it's still now that we're getting to the end, because a lot of us have worked full-time jobs since.
And it's hard to do as well, because like we work 5 days a week, and a lot of us who are working in pre-primaries or daycare. The only time we can work is Monday to Friday. And, you know, sure, we can get a part-time job on the weekends and stuff, but then when do we have time for ourselves?
Exactly.
Right? School full-time, raising children, just our lives.
Taking care of yourself.
Yeah, like, mental health. We talk so much about mental health in this class.
That's what I'm saying. My hardest thing would be
after 11 children
going to school full-time with 11 kids. Trying to balance being in school all the time, going to appointments, making sure they're okay, getting them to where they need to be from where they need to be from,
and then taking care of Aretha.
Have time for myself, which gets put on the back burner, but that messes with your mental health. But then you got to deal with it somehow. So,
what's one thing you'll take into the field?
That's a good question.
I will add and say, I feel like that's a hard question because I feel like there's so much to
I'm not really sure. I would say patience, keeping an open mind, and boundaries.
Boundaries is a good one.
I was thinking protect your peace. I feel like that's something we talk about a lot. And boundaries, like literally knowing when enough is enough.
And know when to stick up for yourself.
When to stick up for yourself and when to stick up for the youth.
And I'll say don't stay at a place where you do not feel valued. Like with the boundaries, if you think that place is not for you, leave. One thing I'll give Justin praise on is he's always said, never stay somewhere where you do not feel valued, because it will only run you down to the ground.
It's okay to say that this is not for me.
And go on to
I've
the
done
next.
that just in my last placement, actually, but I mean.
Yeah, and then another thing I think I'm going to take is keep an open mind of, like, you know, you're going to walk in and obviously these people are already established in their roles or whatever, but don't allow them to intimidate you.
When Cynthia was saying that when you walk into a space, like as a new ECE, you're walking into a space where people are already established. And when I first entered the cohort, I struggled a lot with feeling confident in my skills, especially being young and being black and not being a woman, because the majority of the EC field is women, but just being black and young. But I knew deep down what I had to offer, and I know the connections that I make with children and that should have been enough for me. And I think after being in this cohort, it finally is. I think that Justin and the class have helped me really see what I have to offer and what my skills are, that I am no longer going to walk into a space for the validation of other people. I'm going to walk in with the knowledge and skills that I have and do what's best for me and for
I want to say, to add to what you said, I really think it's patience and all that, boundaries and everything is a big thing, because as Cynthia said, like, going into it, people are already established with what they have, and they don't want you to come in with this new knowledge and teach them anything, because they're stuck in their ways. But it's you need to figure out a way to have like that conversation to overcome that boundary and be able to teach them, and they can also teach you, and maybe you can meet in the middle. But I feel like you just have to go into it with an open mind that, like, not everyone's going to be receptive to what you want to give them.
Well, so bouncing off this question, what are you most looking forward to bringing to the field as young Black educators?
I'm looking forward to putting myself out there and, again, advocating for, like, myself, for the kids, even for other ECEs that don't look like me or other kids that don't look like me. But...
And it's 2026. It's time for a change.
It is time for a change. And I feel like that's such an open-ended question, because, like, there's so much that we have to offer. But I think just putting myself in the space
and bringing young perspectives into it,
we're going to have a lot
Black
to offer.
People, because you're right, there's not a lot of, there's a lot of diversity, but I don't see a lot of young Black people in this field. And that's so important for kids who look like us growing up. Like, you don't have the diversity necessarily, and now we're getting more with all these immigrants and everybody coming in. It's important to have that diversity. It's important to start changing with the times. It's the big 2026, as we like to say in class.
What I'm looking mostly forward to is making a change. Period. No, whether it's small, big, just making somewhat of a change, so I know that I have done something. Also, to be known. Like, I'm looking forward to people to know who Aretha is.
Your legacy, exactly.
I think I could go off of what everybody said. I'm excited to just get in there. Like they said, get in there and grow and learn with the people that I'm working with. It is the big 2026. I think the world is changing so much. There is so much to be learned and shared, and we are lucky enough to be in a position where we get to shape young minds and build relationships and connect with families and connect with community. We're in a great space to be able to make change and also change yourself. And I'm really, really looking forward to that. And again, with what Cynthia said too, is that representation is so important, not even just for kids who look like us, but just for people in general. Black people exist. We've always existed. We've always been around. It's time we start seeing them in spaces. It's time to start normalize seeing Middle Eastern people in places. White, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's time that we stop saying that we never see people in spaces, because people should be welcome in every
You need
space.
to be you need to be that person that you see in the space.
Right into the question that we were going to ask next, which is, why is it important to have Black educators in the classroom? Because times are changing,
and we've always been around. So it's crazy that it's now that we're finally getting to be in spaces that we were not welcome or were not seen before. Because where were we? We've always been here.
We've always been here.
That's true.
And that's why it's so important that we are going into this field and that this cohort exists. Because in high school, I can count on one hand, really 2 fingers, how many Black teachers I had growing up.
Pinky and a half.
I didn't have any. And it wasn't like I was the only Black kid in my school, you know? But we didn't have teachers that looked like us. And it's so important to see that we can be more than leaders. Exactly. We're more than just the color of our skin. We're educated. We are smart. We are beautiful. We are talented. And we have useful things to say, too.
Exactly.
It's not a white man's world anymore.
We got to show them what we got.
And it's not fair to the children that they're only getting one perspective.
And we're going to show it, and we're here, and we ain't leaving. We ain't backing down.
But I think us, as like she just said, as a perspective, like, it's, people have this, you know, when you think Black people, you think loud, ratchet, ghetto, nasty individuals. And it's like, we have such a there's such a stigmatism against across like towards us, and I feel like us going into the space really like opens that up to kind of break down all the things that people think and see, and like
especially
show them like
the early
this is where
stage.
we're educated.
We're
like,
educated.
We're
educating you.
Literally the same area you're at is where we're at.
Exactly.
Like it just doesn't make sense. But going in, I definitely think that Black educators do need to be in the field, not only for the kids to learn from them, but for us to also learn from each other. Because being Black, there's a lot of things that I feel like I don't know about Black people, that I experience the good and the bad, and I want to kind of experience the right from the wrong.
Yes. Clock it.
So for our final question would be, what advice would you give to the next cohort in the big 2027?
My advice would be to, like we said before, have an open mind.
Never give up.
Also know the boundaries, your boundaries, everyone else's boundaries. And I would say always, always, always just be yourself authentically.
Amen.
I was going to say trust yourself, because I think trust yourself, trust the process, know why you're there.
Yeah.
Know why you're there, because I think it's really easy, especially with all the challenges that we talked about and all the self-learning and self-reflecting and the balance, to lose your passion and to forget what you're in it for.
I'll say no, like what you just said. Know why you're in it. Like, are you in it for the money, or are you in it for the well-being of yourself and the kids?
Right.
And remember Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
And I would also say to know that it's okay to not know. And it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help.
Oh, and for people who don't know what Ubuntu is, it's community. The sense of community, being together. Yeah. And that's really what we focus on in this class.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
We're here, whatever that saying is.
We are because
you are. One thing I will say is never give up. If one thing I can give to the next cohort is things will get tough.
Definitely.
Do not give up, because I feel like we've all been there, but having each other has helped us not get to the point where we've quit and stopped going to school, or just decide, you know what, this is it. So please, to the next cohort, do not give up.
Do not give up.
Things are going to be hard. It's going to be challenging.
There will be a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, there will be. It's been hard, but
and it will
be
so rewarding.
Justin's got you. Your class has got you.
We got you.
We got you.
And the 2 cohorts before that got you. And you got the next one.
Okay. Period.
And thank you for joining us on the Why podcast.
Why?
With Cynthia,
Day,
MJ,
and Aretha.
Period.